I immediately transitioned to moving backwards, reloading, and continuously moving the entire time. Okay, go check our action.
Transitioning with AR. Using the two cardboards, we're not shooting steel this close. Just want to reiterate all the communications is on the belt door, contact 3 with the Disco 32 push to talk.
Ladies and gentlemen, today we are going to be reviewing usnightvision.com's PVS-14 white phosphor Gen 3 auto-gated with quote-unquote zone spots. This PVS-14 unit on the usnightvision.com website right now currently is running about $3,000 or just over $3,000. They do often have this unit on sale. The zone spots they say are going to be in the 2 or 3 zone, which I have in the picture right there. So none of them should be in the center of the image that you're looking at. They should all be on the outer edge. On this particular unit that I received, there were, I think, 2 very small spots, both of which were in the 3 zone, and completely unnoticeable once you're out and about. If you are looking at a white wall or using the training cap, they are very noticeable. But again, if you start moving around and doing stuff, your eyes tend to not see them anymore, and the GoPro definitely does not pick them up. So this unit that I had purchased came with a FOM, an FOM, or figure of merit, of 2,166. Which is pretty good. That's what majority of people, when they're purchasing night vision, they're looking for a minimum of about 2,000 FOM. The last review I did on the green phosphor, it had just over 1,500 figure of merit. And I'm not going to go into detail on how they figure out the figure of merit, but there is an actual mathematical equation dealing with the resolution of the unit and the pixelation that it's picking up. The important thing to take note of is that the higher the FOM, the quote-unquote better quality image you have, or the more clearer image you get. So it is a moonless night. The only light or ambient lighting that I have out there while I'm filming this is just the light pollution from the nearby town, and the nearest light source that you can see is approximately 3 to 4 miles away from where we are. I've just took my dogs out in the desert to let them run around and have some fun while I could record and practice driving under night vision and walking under night vision, and just generally getting some hours on the night vision and keeping my eyes and my brain up to speed with wearing them, because training is extremely important in all aspects of life. If you don't train for it, you won't be prepared for it. So keep that in mind, and there's nothing stopping you from just going out, walking around under night vision. It's not illegal. So I highly recommend everybody get out there and walk around under nods as often as they can. It's extremely good for you. Helps your mind and your eyes and your body kind of understand what's going on and how things change your perspective. Here you can see I'm activating some IR light that I have mounted to my Team Windy belt bump helmet. The white phosphor is extremely nice. I really like white phosphor a lot. And now that I've have a couple of sets of PVS-14s that are white phosphor, I'll be looking into getting some dual tubes that are white phosphor, because white phosphor has a lot of very beneficial aspects to it. Probably one of the biggest aspects that I enjoy about it is a lot nicer on the eyes. It's easier on the eyes. It doesn't strain your eyes as much. Your eyes are not struggling to take in all that light and all that picture. You can really turn the gain or the brightness down on your PVS-14s to where you can actually see things clearly without it being overwhelmingly bright on your eye. That really helps your the longevity of your eye strength while you're doing your training. Green phosphor just feels so much more artificial. It's definitely a little harder on the eyes. Here you can see I am driving under night vision. I have my dual tube green phosphor mounted onto my Team Windy bump helmet while driving around, and I'm just holding the PVS-14 with the GoPro up to see over the dash so you can kind of see what I'm seeing. I do not have IR lights attached onto my truck, so I am driving around with the running lights on, and that gives me more than enough light to see the trail that I need to stay on. It is auto gated. It's a pretty good price point for the quality of the image, and there is a little bit of distortion, that fisheye or fish tank view that I discussed on the green phosphor video. And I can tell you that the white phosphor had a lot less distortion than the green phosphor. I think it's a combination of a better quality intensifier, and I'm assuming they used better quality objective lens on it, because I believe the objective lens is where the distortion is actually coming from. And the white phosphor is only about $500 or $600 more than the green phosphor with the zone spots. And again, those zone spots are minuscule and almost imperceivable, which is nice. So for those of you that are on a budget and you cannot afford to get top of the line night vision, like myself, usnightvision.com is not a bad place to go. Just understand that you're not going to get the top quality. You're not going to get exactly what you would want out of night vision, so to speak, but you'll get good enough night vision that it'll suffice. You can train, you can later on down the road upgrade, and night vision is expensive. Even though these are, quote unquote budget, they do retain their value quite well. The white phosphor zone spot, again, mine had over 2,000 figure of merit, which is about standard of what most people are looking for when purchasing night vision, especially those who are experienced with night vision and have an understanding of how they function, how they operate, and what kind of quality you get with the higher figure of merit. So I highly recommend everybody do their research, do their homework, and understand what they're getting into. usnightvision.com does offer higher quality night vision. This is just the budget night vision that they have, that because of the zone spots. And to me, I think it is a pretty fair trade-off. I think it's not a terrible use of money. You do save some money by buying the PVS-14s with the zone spots. And again, they are minuscule. You really can't tell once you're out and about doing stuff. Even just walking around, you don't even notice the zone spots. And so if you're looking to save some money, it's not a bad route to go. Just understand that the quality is vastly different than if you paid full price, which I think all in all, if your goal was to buy white phosphor night vision, top of the line, and you end up compromising in order to buy two instead of one, you'd save over $1,000 by buying the green phosphor with zone spots. But then you could buy two sets of night vision rather than just one set of high quality. So it depends on what your needs are. If you're trying to equip your family or equip some friends or a group of people, and you're tight on a budget, then there are some compromises you can make, and you can see in this GoPro footage. The image quality is there. If there's a full moon out, it is so much better. I tell you, all that ambient light, that light pollution from the nearby town, when there's a full moon out, it's not nearly as bad. It doesn't wash out any of your image like it does currently with no moonlight out there. And being able to adjust your gain to find that happy medium is extremely helpful. There are some budget units out there that don't come with a manual gain or variable gain option. And it's okay. They have the auto gain, which is nice. At least then you don't have to always fidget with stuff, but it would be nice to be able to manually adjust it to suit your needs or to suit the environment that you're in. Because when there's a full moon out, I promise you don't want to have your variable gain maxed out. You want to have it somewhere in the middle or even on the lower end if it's a full moon and there's a lot of light pollution. And as I stated with the green phosphor with zone spots, the white phosphor with zone spots does have one issue that it does kind of bother me. It's not a huge issue, but it is something that I've always kept in mind, and something I'm hoping I can figure out how to eliminate myself if I don't have to contact them and send it in. But when adjusting the focus on your PVS-14, when you have it set to infinity so that you can have a good focus for everything further than 10 feet from you and beyond, when you go to adjust it to be able to focus in on nearer objects, there's a noticeable shift in the image, which is the outer circle of the image. The image itself does not move or change, but you can tell it's kind of like how while I'm filming this GoPro, it has that auto stabilization mode. So as the outer blackness, the circle around the image, you see it kind of shifting as I'm walking around. When you go to focus, your image will shift just a touch at the very beginning of your focus. It's only when you're coming out of that infinity range, that infinity focus range. It's quite odd, quite peculiar. My more expensive PVS-14 does not do that. Again, this is not a bad night vision device to buy. USnightvision.com has phenomenal customer service. I've contacted them before, and they were very apologetic and very eager to correct the issue, which was very, very nice, and it's much appreciated to have customer service that is willing, or at least wanting, to help solve a problem or an issue that you have. There are some companies that do not do that, and USnightvision.com does have financing options. I believe when I purchased both pairs of PVS-14, one of those financing options was PayPal financing. So if you're on a budget and you're looking to get into night vision without having to pay the total upfront cost, financing is an option there. Not everybody has a well-paying job that gives you enough disposable income to be able to afford $3,000 or $4,000 at a time for night vision. So if you're in the market for budget night vision, USnightvision.com is not a bad stop. Just understand that it's not going to be the highest quality. It's going to have some distortion to the image. It's nothing critical, nothing that will ruin your image that you're seeing. And another aspect, like I had mentioned, is that shift when you go to focus the objective lens on your PVS-14. Again, it's nothing critical. It's not going to destroy or ruin your night vision experience. It's not going to affect what you're seeing. It's not even going to affect any of your accuracy when aiming with a laser or passive aiming through an optic. And just understand that when you are purchasing budget night vision, there are going to be some compromises, and the quality is not going to be top notch. But then again, if you're shopping for budget night vision, I imagine you're already aware of that. So once you do purchase your night vision, make sure you get out there and you train with it. If you purchase night vision and then it just sits in the safe all day, all year, it's doing absolutely no good, and it didn't matter if you financed it or paid outright for it. It's going to waste if it's just sitting there not being used. PVS-14s take a single AA battery, which are extremely affordable. One AA battery will last many hours on PVS-14s, especially if you have plenty of ambient lighting. You don't have to have your variable gain completely maxed out. Remember, if you buy it, you got to use it. You got to train with it, or it's not going to help you at all. All right, folks, I hope this this review is helpful to you. If you're in the market for night vision, usnightvision.com is not a bad place to go. Again, I'm not sponsored. I paid out of my own pocket for all of my night vision, all of my lasers, everything. I don't have any sponsorship whatsoever, so it's a completely unbiased review. And I can honestly say that if you're on a budget, this is not a bad route to go. When you purchase your PVS-14s, even as a standalone, it will come with a skull crusher and a J-arm, which has the bayonet mounting lug, which will fit onto the skull crusher itself. But you'll obviously want to upgrade. They also do have turnkey kits available, which will be a bump helmet and a laser, weapon-mounted laser, but still using a J-arm, but then it will also come with a Rhino mount. So it's not a bad deal. Do your homework. Have fun, guys.